Good morning. Today we will take a look at the essay on the pleasures of no longer being very young by G.K. Chesterton, which is prescribed for the students of BA Part 2 English Literature in Paper 2 of, or rather by, the MDS University, Ajmer. First, a look at the biography of G.K. Chesterton. Gilbert Keith Chesterton, his dates are May 29th, 1874 to 14th June 1936. He was an English writer, poet, philosopher, dramatist, journalist, orator, lay theologian, biographer, and literary art critic. English critic and author of verse, essays, novels, and short stories, who was also known for his exuberant personality and rotund figure. Rotund means he was fat and round and big in size. Chesterton is often referred to as the Prince of Paradox. Time magazine has observed of his writing style, to quote, "Whenever possible, Chesterton made his points with popular sayings, proverbs, allegories, first carefully turning them inside out." Chesterton is well known for his fictional priest detective, Father Brown, and for his reasoned apologetics. Even some of those who disagree with him have recognized the wide appeal of such works as Orthodoxy and The Everlasting Man. Chesterton routinely referred to himself as an Orthodox Christian and came to identify this position more and more with Catholicism, eventually converting to Catholicism from High Church Anglicanism. George Bernard Shaw, his friendly enemy, said of him, he was a man of colossal genius. Biographers have identified him as a successor to such Victorian authors as Matthew Arnold, Thomas Carlyle, Cardinal John Henry Newman, and John Ruskin. A little about his life. Chesterton was born in Campden Hill in Kensington, London, the son of Mary Louise née Grosjean and Edward Chesterton. Chesterton was educated at St. Paul's School, then attended the Slade School of Art to become an illustrator. The Slade is a department of University College London, where Chesterton also took classes in literature, but did not complete a degree in either subject. In September 1895, Chesterton began working for the London publisher Redway, where he remained for just over a year. In October 1896, he moved to the publishing house T. Fisher Unwin, where he remained until 1902. During this period, he also undertook his first journalistic work as a freelance art and literary critic. In 1902, the Daily News gave him a weekly opinion column, followed in 1905 by a weekly column in the Illustrated London News, for which he continued to write for the next 30 years. Early on, Chesterton showed a great interest in and talent for art. He had planned to become an artist, and his writing shows a vision that clothed abstract ideas in concrete and memorable images. Even his fiction contained carefully concealed parables. Parables are stories which teach you a lesson at the end. Father Brown is perpetually correcting the incorrect vision of the bewildered folks at the scene of the crime and wandering off at the end with the criminal to exercise his priestly role of recognition and repentance. For example, in the story The Flying Stars, Father Brown entreats the character Flambeau to give up his life of crime. There is still youth and honor and humor in you. Don't fancy they will last in that trade. Men may keep a sort of level of good, but no man has ever been able to keep on one level of evil. That road goes down and down. The kind man drinks and turns cruel. The frank man kills and lies about it. Many a man I have known started like you to be an honest outlaw, a merry robber of the rich, and ended up stamped into slime. Unquote. Chesterton loved to debate, often engaging in friendly public disputes with such men as George Bernard Shaw, H.G. Wells, Bertrand Russell, and Clarence Darrow. According to his biography, he and Shaw played cowboys in a silent film that was never released. Visual wit. Chesterton was a large man, standing 6 feet 4 inches, that is 1.93 meters, and weighing around 20 stones 6 pounds, which is equal to about 130 kgs of weight, or 286 pounds in total. His girth gave rise to an anecdote, means a story about an incident, during the First World War, when a lady in London asked why he was not out at the front, means fighting on the border. He replied, and to quote him, "If you go round to the side, you will see that I am, because I am so broad." On another occasion, he remarked to his friend George Bernard Shaw, "To look at you, anyone would think a famine had struck England," perhaps because Shaw was, as compared to himself, lean and thin. Shaw retorted, "To look at you, anyone would think you had caused it." This was friendly banter between the two. P.G. Wodehouse is a famous comic writer of novels. He once described a very loud crash as a sound like G.K. Chesterton falling onto a sheet of tin. Chesterton usually wore a cape and a crumpled hat, with a sword stick in hand and a cigar hanging out of his mouth. He had a tendency to forget where he was supposed to be going and miss the train that was supposed to take him there. It is reported that on several occasions he sent a telegram to his wife Frances from an incorrect location, writing such things as, "Am in Market, Harborough. Where ought I to be?" To which she would reply, "Home." Chesterton himself told this story, omitting, however, his wife's alleged reply in his autobiography. Radio. In 1931, the BBC invited Chesterton to give a series of radio talks. He accepted, tentatively at first. However, from 1932 until his death, Chesterton delivered over 40 talks per year. He was allowed and encouraged to improvise on the scripts. This allowed his talks to maintain an intimate character, as did the decision to allow his wife and secretary to sit with him during his broadcasts. The talks were very popular. A BBC official remarked after Chesterton's death that in another year or so he would have become the dominating voice from Broadcasting House. Chesterton died of congestive heart failure on the morning of 14th June 1936 at his home in Beaconsfield, Buckinghamshire. Writing. Chesterton wrote around 80 books, several hundred poems, some 200 short stories, 4,000 essays, mostly newspaper columns, and several plays. He was a literary and social critic, historian, playwright, novelist, Catholic theologian, and apologist, debater, and mystery writer. He was a columnist for the Daily News, the Illustrated London News, and his own paper, GK's Weekly. He also wrote articles for the Encyclopaedia Britannica, including the entry on Charles Dickens and part of the entry on humor in the 14th edition, year 1929. His best known character is the priest detective Father Brown, who appeared only in short stories, while The Man Who Was Thursday is arguably his best known novel. He was a convinced Christian long before he was received into the Catholic Church, and Christian themes and symbolism appear in much of his writing. In the United States, his writings on distributism were popularized through the American Review, published by Seward Collins in New York. Chesterton's writings consistently displayed wit and a sense of humor. He employed paradox while making serious comments on the world, government, politics, economics, philosophy, theology, and many other topics. Notable works. The two most notable of his writings are The Man Who Was Thursday and Lepanto. His writings to 1910 were of three kinds. First, his social criticism, largely in his voluminous journalism, was gathered in The Defendant 1901, 12 Types 1902, and Heretics 1905. In it, he expressed strongly pro-Boer views in the South African War. Politically, he began as a liberal, but after a brief radical period, he became, with his Christian and medievalist friend Hilaire Belloc, a distributist, favoring the distribution of land. This phase of his thinking is exemplified by What's Wrong with the World in 1910. His second preoccupation was literary criticism. Robert Browning, 1903, was followed by Charles Dickens, 1906, and Appreciations and Criticism of the Works of Charles Dickens, 1911, prefaces to the individual novels, which are among his finest contribution to criticism. His George Bernard Shaw, 1909, and The Victorian Age and Literature, 1913, together with William Blake 1910 and the later monographs William Cobbett 1925, and Robert Louis Stevenson, 1927, have a spontaneity that places them above the works of many academic critics. Chesterton's third major concern was theology and religious argument. He was converted from Anglicanism to Roman Catholicism in 1922. Although he had written on Christianity earlier, as in his book Orthodoxy 1909, his conversion added edge to this controversial writing, notably The Catholic Church and Conversion 1926, his writings in GK's Weekly, and Avowals and Denials 1934. Other works arising from his conversation were St. Francis of Assisi 1923, the Essay in Historical Theology, The Everlasting Man 1925, The Thing 1929, also published as The Thing, Why I'm a Catholic, and St. Thomas Aquinas 1933. He was traditional, extolling the virtues of the little man and the romantic pre-modern past. He rejected the experimental in art as well as life and distrusted the state and the modern world. His Father Brown series of detective novels center around a humble but clever Anglican Catholic priest. Chesterton converted to Catholicism at the age of 48. He was considered somewhat eccentric, idiosyncratic, and was fiercely opinionated. George Bernard Shaw disliked his work, calling him a freak of French nature, and various men and women of letters disdained the comparative gaudiness of his thought and his work, and his unfashionable political conservatism. Nonetheless, he was popular and loved by many. With this, we end learning about the biography of G.K. Chesterton. Tomorrow, or rather in the next session, we will continue and look at the summary and then the analysis of the essay by Chesterton on the pleasures of no longer being very young. Thank you.